I was outside on Christmas morning playing with my nephew when the neighbor's kid handed me a wrapped present and said, "My mom told me to give this to you. Open it when nobody's looking." "What?" I asked, looking at the kid. He looked maybe 8. Puffy jacket, snow boots, runny nose. He shoved the small wrapped box toward me and looked back at his house nervously. "My mom said you'd understand once you opened it." I stared at him. This was my first time at my sister's house. I didn't know any of the neighbors. I'd never spoken to anyone on this street. "Who's your mom? How does she know me?" He just pointed at the house next door. The curtains in the front window moved. Someone was watching. Then he turned and ran back across the yard. I stood there in the snow holding a gift from a woman I'd never met. My niece Lily tugged on my jacket. "Uncle, who was that?" "I don't know, sweetheart. Go inside and warm up. I'll be right there." She ran toward the house. I pocketed the box. Then I went inside and told my sister Harper I needed to use the bathroom. I went up and locked the door, opened the box with shaking hands. Inside was a positive pregnancy test, a stack of photographs, and a handwritten note. I looked at the photos first. My brother-in-law Grant, the woman from next door, kissing in a car, walking into a hotel, his hand on her stomach, his wedding ring visible in every shot. The note read, "I'm 4 months pregnant. It's Grant's. I've watched your sister cry in her driveway for a year thinking she can't have children. She waves at me every morning and I wave back knowing I'm carrying her husband's baby. I'm sorry that I'm too much of a coward to tell her myself." I read it 3 times. Harper and Grant had been trying for a biological baby for years. IVF hormone shots, disappointment after disappointment. Harper blamed herself. She called me crying every few months saying her body was broken. And the whole time, Grant was getting the neighbor pregnant. I wanted to put my fist through the mirror. I pocketed everything, walked back to the living room. Grant was on the floor helping Lily set up her new dollhouse. He looked up and smiled. "Finally warming up?" "Yeah." I couldn't look at him. I spent the next 2 hours watching him. The way he kissed Harper's forehead when she brought him coffee. The way he rubbed her shoulders when she mentioned trying IVF again in the spring. The doctor said my numbers still look okay. Maybe one more round. Grant squeezed her hand. "Whatever you need, babe. I'm with you." I had to leave the room. I stood by the window and watched the house next door. The woman was in her kitchen. I could see her silhouette, 4 months pregnant, with my brother-in-law's baby, 20 feet from where my sister was planning her next round of IVF. After dinner, Grant went to the kitchen to make hot chocolate. Harper took Lily upstairs for a nap. I followed Grant. He was stirring the pot when I walked in. "Hey man, want some? I'm making enough for—" I dropped the photos on the counter. He stopped stirring, picked one up. His face didn't change at first. Then I watched the color drain from his skin. "Where did you get these?" "Doesn't matter. Listen to me. She's pregnant, Grant. The woman next door is 4 months pregnant with your baby." He set the photo down slowly. "It's complicated." "It's really not. Harper and I haven't been good for a long time. The IVF stress, the pressure. She became someone I didn't recognize. So you got the neighbor pregnant while your wife injected herself with hormones trying to give you a child?" I was going to tell her. After the holidays. I didn't want to ruin what? Christmas? You've been ruining her life for years. He stepped closer, lowered his voice. "If you tell her now, you blow up everything. This whole beautiful family. Is that what you want?" "What I want is for my sister to stop blaming herself for something that was never her fault. Think about what you're doing." Harper's voice came from behind us. "Think about what?" We both rose. She was standing in the doorway. Grant's face went white. I picked up the photos from the counter and handed them to her. She looked at the first one. Her face crumpled. She flipped to the second, the third. Her hands started shaking. "What is this?" Grant stepped toward her. "Harper, baby, let me explain. What is this?" Her voice cracked. I handed her the note. She read it once, twice, then she looked up. Not at Grant, at me. "The woman next door?" I nodded. She walked past both of us, out the back door, into the snow. No coat, no shoes. She crossed the yard and started pounding on the neighbor's door. Grant ran after her. I stood at the window and watched. The door opened. The woman appeared. Harper said something I couldn't hear. The woman started crying. Then Harper looked down at her stomach, and I watched my sister's whole world fall apart. She didn't scream. She didn't hit anyone. She just stood there in the snow, looking at the proof of everything her husband had taken from her. Then she turned around, walked back across the yard, past Grant, past me, up the stairs. The bedroom door slammed. The lock clicked. Grant stood in the kitchen with his head in his hands. I packed my bag and left that night. The divorce was finalized 4 months later. Harper got the house. She made the neighbor move. Last I heard, Grant lives in an apartment 40 minutes away and sees his kids every other weekend. Harper still can't look at the house next door.